Beep, 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 beep. Hello, people owners. Another day, another horror. No, I'm kidding. Well, sort of. Well, you've seen it now. That extraordinary video. Well, it's audio. You've got the videos on in the bag, isn't it? But the audio is there of the two very brave young girls who take on a teacher who I think is deeply ill-informed rather than malicious. Usual story. Don't put down to wickedness what you can ascribe to stupidity. But it strikes me as that's probably policy throughout the whole school. I understand the school has been identified now. I shall utter its name not. But it's been identified, in which case I hope that there will be action taken by the parent in collaborating with other parents to ensure the likes of this never happens again. It was quite extraordinary to listen to. Hearing it sort of raw like that, I thought was rather amazing. So my thanks to the mum and the two girls who bravely came forward with that information and allowed us all to see just how bad this can get, just how bad this ideological derangement can get, and that it can take the best of us. That's a teacher that may well be a very good teacher in every other respect, who unfortunately has been completely screwed over by the parasitizing nature of the critical social justice virus, which is what we saw in action in that video. I thought it was fascinating. Somebody should do an analysis of the whole bloody thing, I think. Who could do that well? Alf! What about Alf up a tree? You do it! Alf! That's what I might do. Sit here and give orders to everyone. Clive and Dennis, you will do X. Alf! Meadow! So, you know, what the hell? You've heard it now. It's out there. Let's see where it goes. I've got another one for you. It's not the same thing. It's not in the same league, but this just, it boggles my mind. Okay? So we have the chief rabbi has now waded in. What is it with these religions? You know, the chief rabbi has now waded in and he's given out guidance. Saying, the guidance warns, making families aware of the fact that a child comes out as trans is not, and it can be, if you tell the parents, it can be a safeguarding risk. Fake. Right, okay, so, religions love this crap, don't they? See, don't like the gays. That's why they like this trans the gay away stuff. There's a video of a vicar somewhere saying, well, of course, homosexuality now doesn't really exist. Everybody just loves each other. You know, wibbling goat. Nonsense merchants. They are a lot of them, right? So let's see what the rabbi has been up to. Parents should not be told if their child comes out as trans. The chief rabbi has advised. There's a picture of the chief rabbi. Smiley face. Nice looking fella, right? Nice, you know, has the countenance of a man of wisdom. Guidance says that any information about staff or pupil sexuality or gender identity should be treated as confidential and not disclosed to anyone, including parents, right? So there's where we begin with the problem. Second paragraph, you've got the problem right there. It's crystallized completely. Guidance says that any information about staff or pupil sexuality or gender identity. Well, that's the problem. The fact that you bring in the two together. They can't separate it out, can they? Get the TQ off the LGB. The divorce is happening right now, folks. The TQ goes. Even the nice ones. You know, even because most people who identify as whatever it may be they identify as don't give a monkey's toss about the darker side of this. They're not really believing that nonsense. Just get them gone. I don't care. I'm not going to differentiate. Nobody else is. Why should I? So the TQ needs to go. And in the second paragraph, you've got the rabbi confusing sexuality with gender identity. So let's put a line between those two and say sexuality / gender identity. Or better to still take sexuality out of there at all. The problem with the fact that he says that both together in the guidance that's been put forward is that, of course, sexuality, if you don't tell anyone else and keep it to yourself, hurts no one. No one. Right? Gender identity, on the other hand, if a child comes to you and says, I think I'm the opposite sex, or I think I'm, a fairy in high heels, whatever it is they want to call themselves, that's a massive red flag. They say it's not a safeguarding issue, it's a safeguarding issue. What the hell is wrong with you people? Right? I can't deal with the reality of my life. It's a safeguarding issue. If that child came to you and said, I want to have one of my arms cut off because it makes me feel more comfortable, you'd be on the phone to safeguarding quicker than you can say lickety-split. Right? Don't lie to me. I know you would. Right? Okay, you would. Of course you would. Who wouldn't? Right? But yet here we have it. I think I'm a girl in a boy's body, and obviously I want to start dressing up, and oh, that's marvelous. Here's the trunk. There's a bit of Laura Ashley in there, might go for you with a bigger size. Sexuality and gender identity are not in any way related at all. One is reality, the other is fantasy. Remember that. It's a shame that these people can't. It warns, the guidance, that making the parents aware if a child is trans can itself be a safeguarding risk, as teachers do not know how they will react, how the parents will react. So what? Right? If it comes to sexuality, it's nobody else's business. Let the child deal with that. When it comes to gender identity, you call the social services and we arrange a psychological intervention. Why? Because we know that the comorbidities that come with this particular ideation are vile. Something else is going on. This is a safeguarding flag the size of bloody Africa. Get on with it. Get on with it. It's insane. I'm going to cut my leg off because it makes me more comfortable. Oh, God, that's fantastic. Whoa, that's just wonderful. You'll find a collection of wooden ones over there in a box. The school has this in case you want to do it. So go, try it on. Do a peg leg. Arr. Why did that remind me of Peter Sellers? Oh, Pink Panther. Do you remember that when he had the parrot on his shoulder? Bumping the air into the parrot. There is nobody who's going to get that. Right, okay. Campaigners claim that the guidance runs contrary to basic safeguarding principles and said they were shocked by this attack on families by the religious leader. The Prime Minister has briefly said he's very concerned teachers are not contacting families when a child questions their gender. Now, interesting there, you see. It's just gender now. Rishi Sunak said that he's been clear that parents must be able to know what is going on in schools. The Department for Education will publish instructions on dealing with gender issues before the end of the current school term. Will they now? It's not going to do what it needs to do, I'll tell you that now, because they're cowards. Cowards. Right there, Rishi's cowering in the corner. That's just him in the corner. Cowering in the corner. I don't want to say what needs saying. Don't make me do it. We'll be the nasty party. You're just going to end up being known as the nothing party. Which would you rather have? Right, the nasty party. That's what they call the Tories because they were cruel to the gays. That's what they say. They were cruel to the gays. They weren't necessarily cruel to the gays. Bloody rubbish. Look it up. Understand your history. You want to see who's being cruel to the gays? Look to Labour. The lying left, as I like to call them. Ugh. Come on, left. We can do better. Right. Rishi Sunak said parents must know. The long-awaited government rules are expected to say that families must be informed if a child asks to change their names or uniform. If a child asks to change their names or uniform, the answer is no. It's a child. No. You don't get to do that. Give me your phone. Okay. Yeah, you're not seeing this friend. Internet, not happening. Here's a book. A spokesman for the Chief Rabbi's office said it will review the guidelines once the DFE publishes its documents. Who are these people? Who do you think you are? Same as me. Who do I think I am? You could say the same, couldn't you? Well, I'm not the one, pretending that gender identity exists. What they're saying here is, the Chief Rabbi's office, it's not advocating withholding important information about students' lives from parents, who are unquestionably the primary guardians of children's welfare, he added. The well-being, here we go again, of LGBT plus pupils, a guide for Orthodox Jewish schools, was produced alongside Jewish LGBT charity Keshket and first released in 2018. You're a bit behind, Rabbi. You're a bit behind. In a section marked safeguarding and confidentiality, it said that all staff should be clear that a pupil coming out is not a safeguarding issue. Yes, it is. If they come out as trans, which is not what they're not coming out as trans. What they're telling you is they're mentally unwell. Right? So this is what they do. So coming out is the terminology of what happens when you're gay and you're in the closet and hiding yourself, rather like Potter did, playing with his wand. I'm kidding, right? Sorry, JK. Right, but so, yes? That's what coming out is. Coming out is, okay, That's not coming out. What have you come out as? The opposite sex? What? Yeah, I'm coming out as the opposite sex. How'd you do that? Well, I just say it. Do you? Yes. Just say it. Yes. What's next? Oh, but puberty blockers, hormones and surgery. Oh, right, okay. What's that got to do with being gay? Nothing. You don't come out at all. You make a statement that you are mentally unwell. You make a statement that you are mentally unwell. I've said it before, say it again. You need to traumatise these kids. Show them everything. Tell them about Kinsey, masturbating children. Yeah, with his mates, masturbating children. Right? Tell them about that. Tell them about Kinsey that led to money. Tell them about money. Tell them about the Reimer twins. Show them the distorted, disturbed, and absolutely destroyed bodies of youth that have got caught up in this cult. Show them. Show them the stories of detransitioners. Stop pussyfooting around. Frighten the shit out of them. Do it in year 1. In secondary. I don't mean year 1 like, 4 years old. This is a broken penis. No, don't do that, right? That's even worse. God. Traumatise us first year secondary. I always think that when you go to secondary school, it's like open season. Trauma should be normal, right? Right, we're going to traumatise you. What are you going to traumatise me with? Well, today we're going to look at the treatment of women through history. Sit down. Right, what next? Now we're going to look at how men died to get us where we are and the brutal ways in which they died. Sit down. Oh, what is it today? Now we're going to look at people were murdered and tortured by other people because they were different. Oh, right, what now? Sit down, yeah. Now we're going to look at how they brought back trans in the gay away. Conversion therapy, gay conversion therapy, did it through the back door and had major corporates really enjoying the fact that you could now do that. You could actually sterilise the gays. Sit down. That's what we should be doing. So, what the rabbi is saying here is that making a pupil's parents aware of their child's sexuality and gender identity can itself be a safeguarding risk. It's not the sexuality. Nobody cares. I'm 12 years old. I like boys. Yeah, that's all right. Some of the best men in the world did. I like girls. That's really cool. Go on, get on with it. You know what age is the age of consent, you say to the child? 16. Think on. Now go get your lunch. If people says that they are at risk of harm because of other people's reaction, then the safeguarding lead should be informed, it said. Well, then, really? What? People are going to react badly to the fact that you've just said that you're mentally ill. It's terrible, isn't it? When you should need help. It also discussed training all staff to prepare for a child coming out. I mean, for God, just back off. Really? Just go away, okay? They should not disclose it to anyone, especially their family or teachers who they may not wish to tell. That's fine with sexuality. You just need one person with your sexuality. One, that's all. That's all. It's happened to me over the years. Young people have said, I'm not out yet, but I'm gay. I'm God, that's okay, in your own time. Right? I've only ever had one say to me, I'm non-binary. And an hour later, he wasn't. It's just crap in it. Go and have a look. Right? So Tanya speaks again. Tanya Carter of Safe Schools Alliance, who have done great work in this field. The chief rabbi's advice runs counter to basic safeguarding principles. It's an interesting article. It's in the Telegraph. I'll put it in the Dubris for you. Go and have a look. Okay? I don't know what the hell they're playing at. Maybe they haven't updated them. I don't know. This came out today or yesterday, whenever it was. Go and see what you think, because I think their best bet is for them to shut up and mind their own business. But then you could say the same about me, couldn't you? Go well, Jesterites. See you later.